All right, so now let's quickly go into clicking into each of these reports, because again, you've got so much information that you can make sense of, because we go into the nuanced levels of helping you understand exactly where you're landing at all points in time. Now, if you're trying to do anything to where your lead list has Gmail accounts and Outlook accounts, you definitely want to focus on the personal section over here. Again, we've segregated that based upon geography. You can also do that in provider view, and we'll show that in a quick second. Alternatively, over here as well, if you're just focused on you're sending it to B2B because you're just doing enterprise B2B, then you want to focus on the professional domains as well, which is G Suite and Outlook for the most part, right? So let's just take an example over here where I'm going to go ahead and click onto this G Suite email account, and which means we've got a bunch of Gmail accounts that we've got. You can see that over here, and you can see for some of these, it's gone really, really deep for you, where it's gone ahead and said that the email has the email over here is just straight away missing, but over here it has landed in a spam for some, even though the SPF record has passed. Over here it's landed in the other folder, even though the SPF record has passed. And you can see that we've also got you the bunch of blacklists as well, and how long it took for it to be delivered in, because that also has an impact. Because sometimes when there's checks being done, those checks are basically what are going to take a bit of a threshold. And some ESPs who have their gateway providers or their spam checkers, they use the time to process as a mechanism to decide whether it is to be marked as spam or not. Now, why is it passing and spamming, not passing, but passing, etc.? There might be a variety of reasons. Some of it can just be because, again, the time to perform. The other thing can also be because of the fact that the IP address of this particular thing is not appropriated over here. And we can clearly see sometimes there's a direct correlation to the IP address that was used to send a message is blacklisted, so it goes to spam. And that kind of correlation is what helps you give that deeper insight to understand why or what is causing your emails not to work consistently always as well. Now, another secret that you can actually go through is you got the ability to go ahead and filter out everything and just see which one is the ones that you want to focus on and the ones that's doing good for you and not doing good for you as well. Now again, do note, based upon when you do watch this video, we will be able to definitely click into this and it will show you the list of blacklists that you are a part of. This particular IP address is a part of, at least, so you're well aware of what's causing that, and then you can correlate that information back to your ASP service provider if required and make that change happen. So now you might also go ahead and ask, hey, why is it going through why is the IP so different? It's just simply because of how email networks work on a complex layer itself. They don't necessarily send all from the same IP address, because all of these again belong to this particular services, ESP networks, SMTP protocol, and they may be relaying that message across a ton of SMTP accounts or IP addresses that they have access to, and that is why you see a shift cycle coming in over here as well, and just part of their policies. Perhaps you might have a different policy if you're using Gmail. This is definitely not a Gmail account. You might have different policies if you're using Outlook. You've had different policies if you're using your own private SMT platform in the world. So that's what we got over here. We go with G Suite. Now, if we do the same thing again and we just go to perhaps over here and we click on Office 365, for example. Now, again, we're going to see a bunch of information that comes through our way. In this case, it looks like it is, boombastic. It works extremely well. Outlook is very much in friends with Vijay at this service over here, and all the IP addresses are fine, regardless of them being blacklisted or not. It was simply just not a problem for Outlook services, and they're okay with it. And you can even see that the amount of time it took to process was pretty much zero. It's not 0 seconds, it's in the milliseconds, therefore that's not been shown over here. So clearly, this particular domain or mailbox is doing really well with Outlook or Office 365, but not doing well at all with the Gmail accounts on G Suite. So these are the kind of pieces of information you want to take and then decide what to do with your campaigns with respect to what will give you the best impact for success, because some mailboxes just will performatively differ in terms of how they react or they're reacted by or by the receiving ESP. Maybe Outlook has some affinity towards the protocol that's being used. So just if we took the IP address for this and popped that in over here, we saw that it's basically being it's a third-party service that is there. Again, this was just for testing, so you can see that it's a random host there. So Outlook's fine with that, but Gmail's not fine with it. So these are the kind of piece of information that you want to use to make that decision in deciding what is actually happening, what's the health of your mailboxes, and so on and so forth. In one of the next videos, we'll also go look at the provider view as well to give you a good sense of understanding. But also, before we end that, you can clearly see over here, you get a very quick, clean overview health of how your accounts are performing on Gmail, Outlook, Office 365, whether it's Outlook or Hotmail, and so on and so forth.